Good morning, everybody, and welcome to day 2 of Earth Festival 2021. I'm actually Amy Wyant. I'm the executive director here over at the Otsego County Conservation Association, and I want to get us started, so I'm going to hand it right off to Jeff to introduce our fantastic speaker today.
Well, thank you, Amy. Yes, and as Amy said, welcome to Earth Festival Day 2. We're hoping that next year, maybe we can do this all in person in one place as we usually do, because we like it more that way. Real quick about some other opportunities that are coming up at 12:30 today. We do have a conversation with Shane Daigan, the Otsego County Recycling Coordinator. 5 o'clock today is an in-person walk, limited attendance at Starfield in Cooperstown. And then at 7 o'clock tonight, environmental trivia online, hosted by Amy. Tomorrow is our drive-through drop-off recycling event, which there might still be some room to sign up to bring materials on, but always we tell everybody, check the list. Do not bring us things that we cannot take, because you'll have to go home with it. And our friends at Delaware Otsego Audubon Society are having a live drop-in and talk to their board on Zoom, which you can find information about that at their website. And we have another walk tomorrow morning at Arnold Lake State Forest, and all information about these programs is available at occainfo.org/earth-festival. That's a lot. So now it's my pleasure to introduce to you Jordan Clements. Jordan is the district manager for the Otsego County Soil and Water Conservation District. Jordan has been a good ally to OCCA for many, many years. We enjoy working with him and we enjoy talking with him. And Jordan's going to tell us about the district and what's going on there. So, Jordan, the screen is yours.
Yes, thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it. Thanks for allowing me to participate today. Basically, I just want to do an overview of the district and some of the programs that are going on with the district, and some few things that I may not have on slides, but definitely would like to just to give a moment to talk about, and just overall what the district's been up to here the past couple of years, especially this year, with hopefully getting back to some sort of normalcy in operation after an awkward year of trying to get good conservation on the ground. Even though it was a tough year to get it on the ground, we definitely did some great things last year while keeping our distance. So first, I'd like to start off, this opening slide is a slide that shows our facilities, where we're located right here. On 33, you'll see a big USDA Service Center sign. Housed with us is, of course, not just the district, but the USDA Farm Service Agency, as well as the Natural Resource Conservation Services is also located within our facility here. So it's a one-stop shop for, to work with all three agencies. We work great together. We like to marry a lot of our programs together to make more programs and projects cost efficient for the farmer and other landowners. But definitely, when you come to our facility, you can meet everybody in and learn about the different programs that each agency has to offer. So the soil and water districts are a unique organization. We are what's called a sub-political division of state government. And in my roughly 14 years of working for the district, I have not gotten a straight answer what that truly means, other than the fact that we are able to receive funding on the local level, the state level through grants and allocations through New York State Ag Markets, as well as we're able to go after federal funds. So we do have our own district law policies, and here's a short list of some of the policies. You know, I'd like to highlight a few of them: improve water quality, assist and control floods, protect the tax base, and then protect and promote health, safety, and general welfare of the people of the state, and then of course of this county for being Otsego County. So these are just, again, these are some policies are under the district law that we're allowed to work through, and it gives us the ability to do what we can do. A lot of times we are the only government agency that can work on private property and expend government funds on private property. Sorry, I apologize. I forgot the animations I've had on here. But so basically, what does this what does those policy mean? Basically, that allows the district tasks the district with several objectives, and ranging from prevention and remediation of erosion, prevention and remediation of leaching. The district is basically responsible for the prevention and remediation of natural processes that take place at all scales and multitude at different settings within the county boundary. So where do we do this work, and who do we do this work with? We work with the agriculture community, all towns and village municipalities. We do it through construction and development, as well as the private residents of the county. We work with all levels and functions of business and private owners. So I'd like to jump right into a few of the different programs that the district runs. We'll start off with a fairly new program that the district has been doing. We were successful here 3 years ago to work with the county in taking over the management of the county forest lands. We don't own the county forest lands. The county still owns the county forest lands. They're still still through the highway department, but we have contracted with the county to manage the county forest lands. So roughly there's 18 parcels of county forest lands within the county. They're indicated by the yellow boxes within the county map here. There's roughly 3,800 acres of county forest lands, and currently the biggest thing that the district is trying to achieve is writing management plans for all 18 parcels. So once we have all 18 parcels management plans written, they'll be combined to make one large management plan for all county forest lands. Now, it's all going to be connected because it's all county lands, forest lands, but we had to look at each individual parcel in its individual state because each parcel has a unique situation going on there. So that's why we right now currently have 13 out of the 18 parcels plans written. So we have 5 more to go. And so once that's done, we will have basically a cookbook of projects and things that we would like to do within the county land. So everything from logging to trail building or trail maintenance. We actually have a few lean-tos on some of these properties that we'd like to see fixed up and be able to be used again. There's studies that Cornell is currently doing on other county lands throughout the state, and definitely we're going to try to partake in some of those. And they vary from the effects of over deer browsing to logging ways, different logging practices, different management techniques, because this should be, not only are we looking to make money off log sales, which is part of it, we're also looking for an educational component. We're also looking at the habitat and the recreation end of it. So we're not just concentrating on one end of the spectrum. We're trying to encompass all of it, and that's what these management plans. You're more than welcome. All of our completed management plans are actually located on our website at the Soil and Water District website, and you can actually click on them and read through the management plans that we currently have done. And so you can see the things that have been identified to be worked on, what currently exists on those lands. It's pretty exciting because the lands were the forest lands kind of sat idle for a while. I saw it as an opportunity for the district to strengthen our partnership with the county by providing another service to county residents. And we definitely feel that this is an opportunity that the district is taken advantage of, and will do very well by the county and doing what we're doing there. So I encourage you to take a look at our management plans. And if you have any questions, our county forest technician, Dan Zimmerman, would be more than happy to talk and discuss anything you have questions on. Now, one of our main programs for our agricultural community is the AM program. That's the Agricultural Environmental Management Program, and this program is funded and applied through the New York State Ag and Markets. This program is basically, we do assessments of ag land, of a farm. We work with the farmer to do planning for whatever needs that they have that deals with environmental needs. And then we also set up through this program implementation, and then we come back through and evaluate. So it's not once we've identified the issue and maybe potentially fixed it, and we just walk away and never come back again. We want to make sure what we've done there is actually doing what it's intended to do. So we do evaluations pretty regularly to check on and maintain the quality that's necessary for that project to be beneficial. This is a variety of photos of some projects that have taken place in recent times. So the far left corner, you'll see this contractor crew installing the walls of a manure storage, and that was roughly a 3.5 million gallon manure storage facility. On the top right is a covered barnyard. Now, a covered barnyard, why is that necessary? You know, cows need to come out for exercise. They defecate. They need, you don't want to mix clean water with those nutrients. It's an area for the farmer to exercise his animals and to maintain cleanliness on it, so that you don't lose those nutrients and through stormwater flow and whatnot. The middle left is a leachate collection system. So basically, you have a pile of feed. That feed does produce liquids, and that is those liquids can be very detrimental to aquatic ecosystems. A very oxygen-demanding liquid. So what happens here is that liquid is collected, pumped into a holding tank, and then pumped out onto what's called a vegetated treatment area, which is basically a grassed waterway, grassed area where that leachate then can be pumped out and applied to the land at a rate that's not overbearing and that the land can handle and utilize the nutrients from that leachate. Middle right is a spring development, and that is to help water cattle out in pasture. So you have that tank. There's corrugated pipe that runs off the sides of it, collects the water, then is pumped from there out to water troughs to the animals to feed, which is actually that spring development is directly related to the bottom two pictures. Those two bottom pictures shows a couple things. It shows a water crossing as well as some fencing that was put on that farm to keep the animals out of aquatic sensitive areas. And you can see actually a couple black tubs that are tipped up at the moment because the spring development wasn't done at that moment. But that water that's collected in that spring development will then end up in those tubs to water those animals. The reason we do that is we're keeping the cows out of the waterway. So now we have to provide them water since we're keeping them out of that waterway. So this is how that's done. So that's definitely a lot more environmentally positive. They're able to move those water troughs so that area is not beat up and turned into muck, and then also that sensitive area is not being disturbed by the animals walking through it and stomping through it and creating issues there. Like I mentioned earlier, we work with the county and town municipalities. So hydroseeding is a huge beneficial practice, easy practice. Almost every one of our towns, I would say every one of our towns, do some sort of ditching, good or bad. And so there's a lot of exposed soil. When that soil is exposed, it is easily eroded through traveling water, which is what that ditch is meant to do, is to convey water off the road and down into the nearest stream. So we over the years we've done enormous amount of hydroseeding loads, and so that is a piece of equipment that we make available to all the towns and villages and the county to use. And we have been successful in years past in obtaining funding to pay for mulch and seed and fertilizer, so that expense is not put onto the highway departments, and so they're able to use that and be able to get something for free. So you'll know that it's hydroseed because it's almost a neon aqua blue color, greenish color on the ditch. Don't worry, it's not hazardous. It's just the paper mulch. It's newspaper that's been ground up, so that's the color that it gives. But the reality is that's good that you get that material on the exposed soil, so we can minimize any soil loss that may occur. A few other pictures here. You have this riprap installed on this box culvert. We definitely helped with funding of the riprap and the design. Right below it is a stream project going towards Skinebus that was done here in recent years. Again, riprap to stabilize that bank, seeding and mulching of the banks to minimize any more further erosion. Again, it's a win-win situation. That just so that that riprap is not meant to stop flooding. It's meant to keep that bank there after it floods. So when those waters recede, that bank will hopefully still be sitting there, being able to function as is. And then we worked with a number of towns and villages on getting permits to trap beavers. Here on the bottom left, you can see you can't really see the pipe, but you see a bunch of wood there. Well, that's due to beavers plugging that pipe. So we've worked a lot with towns and villages in obtaining nuisance permits to help trap those nuisance beavers out. But that's always going to be a reoccurring issue, because if it's good enough habitat for one beaver, you remove that beaver, another beaver will come in eventually. So that's constant maintenance and upkeep that needs to be done by our highway departments to help ensure the safety and well-being of our roads and the people that drive them. Program that we've offered off and on is emergency stream intervention. And basically that program is a program that is aimed initially at highway departments, but we've also made it available to contractors. And basically the emergency stream intervention program is usually, again, your highway departments are first on the scene after a flood. We're not expecting our highway department employees to be expert stream morphologists, but what we want them to do is to understand basically some of the minor stuff that they can do to get that stream flowing back within its banks, so that we then can come back at a later date, identify the issues, get cost estimates, and then come back at a later date and do a actual repair of that issued stream stretch. But this whole program is to get to educate the highway employees as well as contractors on how to get that initial work in there, so that stream can get back within its banks and help minimize any more damage that's caused by the flooding. So these are a variety of pictures over the last couple stream intervention programs that we've held. We haven't held one in a few years. Definitely we were intended to have one last year, but due to COVID, I was unable to. So we're hoping to either have it this year. If not this year, then definitely next year to hold another one for our highway folks. So construction and development. So for commercial, so DEC has a regulation, GP0201, commercial and residential soil disturbance. So if a contractor is going to disturb more than 1 acre of land, they must have at least one individual that's on the crew on that project that has gone through a 4-hour erosion and sediment control class. And so the district here, or many districts, usually have a 2-year rotation of offering that class. You go through it once. It's a 3-year, it gives you 3 years, but we offer it every other year basically to provide that service. And we've always had a full house with this. But something that's nice that's come up here in recent times is we've actually made it digital. So the state as a whole, districts as a whole throughout the state has now you can do it completely online. It's still 4 hours. You can't cut out the time. You've got to be there at least a minimum of 4 hours, and you must still pay. But at the end of the day, it's something that all contractors that disturb more than 1 acre of property on that project, specific project, must, like I said, must have someone that's certified through that program. And so the districts have been tasked with those programs, which is definitely up our alley, and it's definitely something that is necessary for contractors to go through. So, I would say outside of the agricultural community, one of our largest requests for folks is stream flooding, stream erosion issues. Here's a variety of pictures. We definitely have had worse issues, but definitely some variety of issues that we've come on with erosion issues or flooding issues. But erosion, is definitely a concerning factor. Anytime you own property or have property where there are buildings located generally close to stream, erosion and flooding is always going to be of concern for you. Flooding is a natural occurrence. We'll never stop flooding. Erosion is a natural occurrence. But humans do things to speed it up. That's when it becomes a problem. But streams are always continually eroding and depositing sediment. It's just some of our actions have sped up that process, and so you get issues like these. You have massive amount of deposits in the top two, and then you can see erosion on this bottom picture here, and then I believe this is down in Oneonta, bottom left here, by the ball fields there, the camp ball fields, where they experienced some flooding there. So definitely erosion, stream issues are probably our number one request for most private landowners in the county to come out and take a look at. Funding is never guaranteed. Funding is definitely, the demand of funding is greater than what's available. Like I said, we've had luck in years past on getting funds to do stream restoration work and stream bank remediation work. But again, it's definitely highly competitive. And the only thing I can assure you is that we will do our best to try to, achieve funding. But again, there's nothing guaranteed in that. We can't guarantee that we definitely can get funding. Another program, a lot of our programs, of course, are grant-based and project-based, but this right here is a program that we do special events, but one of the programs I truly enjoy, and maybe I should update my picture here because this is back from 2015, but this is the 2015 winning team of the Envirothon. A quick thing about the Envirothon is it's a hands-on environmental education competition for high school students. So each school can provide 2 teams of high school aged students of 5 members each. And so every year in usually mid to late April, we hold our local regional Envirothon called the Leatherstocking Envirothon. We've had it where almost every school participates. When a team wins that local Envirothon, they then will go on and compete at the state level to represent Otsego County at the state level. And if they win that, then they can go on to the national level. And there, at the national level, they can win scholarships and a variety of things they can win for their school. And it's a great program. The kids have fun. I could even say all the volunteers that participate have a great time with it. And definitely Otsego County Conservation Association, at least in my time, in all my time, have been good supporters and volunteers of that program. And hopefully this year we're doing a online competition, but we're hoping by next year we'll be able to hold actually back at Gilbert Lake and in-person competition. And so then there's a few other things that we participate in. We're always involved in the Springfield 4th of July parade. Again, last year and this year it's canceled, but again, in years past we've participated in that. We're always at the county fair, at Earth Day Festival. We participate quite a bit. Education is definitely another large portion of what we're tasked with, and so it's always great to get projects out on the ground and projects going on these variety of issues, but it's always fun to do some education and some outreach, and so these are just a few of the programs that the district participates in to do just that. So there might have been a time before me where the different organizations did their own thing, kept their blinders up, and they did their own thing. But I think that time is long gone. I think today, if we're going to be successful in conservation, we need to work with our partners, find ways to bring funding together to accomplish some of this. And so, a lot of our work would not be able to be done if we didn't have our partners. I will say probably our biggest partners are NRCS and FSA, just because we're co-located and our funding programs are a lot similar, quite similar. So we're able to get a lot of programs and projects implemented through them, but we have OCCA, OLT, Butternut Valley Alliance, Cornell Cooperative Extension, state and federal legislators. They're our partners. I'm constantly either calling or meeting with them to push for funding that's necessary in our area. The Upper Susquehanna Coalition, definitely an important partner in this, not only because we're part of the Upper Susquehanna, but they're also good. They provide funding that we're able to get our projects implemented through. So some special projects that we've worked on in the past that we may no longer do, but at one time we were running a composting pilot program for the county. We had received the funds that were necessary for the Canarego Lake research that was done on there, and then the district initiated the water quality monitoring program, where we had over 60 locations, public water locations throughout the county that we were taking samples from. But again, I could actually put our forestry under this because that's contracted. That's not a given. I have to go every 5 years to hopefully obtain continue that contract. And we're actually finding ourselves doing a little more research. Historically, districts didn't do research, but we're working with USC and other, programs with buffer maintenance, monitoring, the efficiency of forested buffers. We've been doing a lot more efforts into that. So we do partake in some special projects that take place, but these are a few projects that, that were done in the past, but definitely are worth noting that the district took part in. We've also done we also have partaked in ag plastic. So as you can see in our pictures here, top, bottom, and top right, this baler was able to happen because Cornell Cooperative Extension and the DEC came together and funded these trailers to be built. I believe there was 5 of them built or 6 of them built and spread throughout the state. We were lucky enough to obtain one of them, and we have baled along with Jeff and a few other of my staff members. We have baled several tons of plastic that are found on our farms throughout our county. This has made plastic more manageable, easier to transport, but much like anything else, the market for plastic is very volatile, and it has been on a downward slope here more recently, and so it's become much tougher to get rid of the bales. we had historically held baling days at the transfer stations. We have not held one of those in the past couple of years, but of course, last year being what it is, and this year so far, I can understand why we're not holding them. But at the same time, if we don't have a market that's willing to buy this plastic, we can't continue to bale them and store them. We do not have adequate storage space for these bales. What has happened now in recent times, we have some diehard participants with the baling program, and so we have 4 or 5 farmers that have routinely come and we drop off the baler, they bale their plastic, and then we come and take the baler away. And so we have 4 or 5 farms now that are starting to stockpile their bales, but they say it's easier to maintain. They enjoy that they're able to use this so that they can maintain and keep their plastic and keep it out of the waste stream. So although it's kind of limping along, we're hoping that the market bounces and back, and we're able to start shipping out plastic again. And once we do, we definitely have some bales that need to be taken off already. So we also have some services for fees. So a few of them. Actually, today we're currently doing our tree sale, tree pickup. So county residents and non-county residents are coming to our county office or to our office here, picking up their tree orders that they made. Ag assessments, which is basically a tax break on agriculturally used lands. I should say that we used to hydroseed privately for service, but due to the fact that we cannot compete with the private sector, we've kind of backed away from doing private jobs on the hydroseeding end. But the tree and fish sale still exists, and our ag assessments still exist. So basically, this is to finish it off. This is it. I kind of gave you a generalization of kind of different programs that the district's doing. I know I haven't told you everything. We've been doing a lot of forested buffer plantings. And so if you are a landowner that has either a stream or a wetland or some kind of aquatic area that is in need of some plantings that is denuded of any vegetation and want to see something planted there, I'd encourage you to call the office here and just let us know, what your interests are and how we can maybe we can work out a program or project with your needs. But I just want to thank everybody for their time and their patience. Hopefully you have gained something from this. And if you have any questions, I encourage you to, at the very least, you can call us. Our website here is located. It's www.otsegosoilandwater.com, all spelled out, all one word. And you can definitely look up more on our programs that we have to offer. And again, I encourage anyone that has any questions or comments to please don't hesitate to contact me and we can have a discussion. Thank you very much and have a great day.
Jordan, thank you so much. That was really great. Very informative and well appreciated. I actually did have a question for you that I'm going to ask you.
Yes.
About the stream projects there where you're talking about on private residences where, if somebody has a problem, if somebody has a problem with their stream, I guess eroding or jumping the banks or whatever, you guys can actually go in and can you do work on the private property on a stream? How does that, how does that work?
So basically, a person with some stream issues gets a hold of us. We always do our reconnaissance. We go out, we take photos, we take measurements. We always take measurements of the area, especially if it's eroding, just so that we can have an idea of what's going on there. If a grant opportunity is available, we then can go after that. A lot of times, we need an engineer, and luckily, being part of the Upper Susquehanna Coalition, we have the ability to work with an engineer with the USC to design a remediation plan for that. Once that remediation plan is done, we've submitted our application to grant funding. They're able to, we get funded. We then come back onto the property, and either through a private contractor or through the USC if they have the ability, the time. We have to go through the same stuff as a private landowner, so we have to go through permits. So before an ounce of dirt is moved or disturbed, we have to fill out the permit forms, submit those into the DC and the Army Corps, and get their blessings on what we want to do. And at that time, they can tell us we do like your plan or we don't like your plan, or we'd like to see this changed on your plan. Because again, we're not regulatory, they are regulatory. But what's nice is that we have built a relationship with the permitting office, with the DEC. And so over time, they've worked enough with us where they know our abilities and what we can do. Again, just like anything else, there's always changeover. So actually, we're rebuilding our relationship with the DEC permitting office because in the recent years it's changed over. But once the permits are obtained, if the landowner doesn't have the funding and we've gone after a grant funding and whatever funding sources there is, once the funding sources are found, if it's a private contractor, we do the bid process, and once that bid process is done, a contractor has been awarded the project, we've got the permits in place, we are the conduit that occurs. So I am currently trying to work on a stream program for the district. I have obtained funding to purchase some equipment. I'm in the process of trying to shape that and get county funding and backing on this. And I've got some county legislators that are really supportive of it and understanding of it, because it's always cheaper to be proactive than reactive. So the reality of it is that what my hopes are is that we will be your one-stop shop for stream work, where you come to us, we see the issue. If it's, again, everybody, there's not, I don't want to give that false sense that everybody that comes to us that has a stream issue will have their stream issue fixed. But if it's a problem if it's an issue that is definitely deemed a big enough issue, an important enough issue, I hope in the near future that we'll have the equipment that's necessary. We have the ability for survey and design, permitting, that the district will be a one-stop shop for stream restoration work.
Very good. Thanks.
That will be it.
All right.
Well, any other questions? No?
No, I think we're good.
All right.
I really appreciate your time, and thank you so much for this. And